Welcome, yogis. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Dominique, and today I will be guiding you through a yoga practice for your upper back and neck. As we move through this practice, please remember to honor your body and how it shows up today, because as we know, every day is different. At any time, if we move into a posture that does not feel right for your body today, go ahead and back out or just completely let go of the pose. We will get started in a seated position, so take a few moments and make your way there. As you arrive in a seat, perhaps the eyes start to close or gaze goes down towards the earth. Integrity through the spine, chin parallel to the mat. Take a few moments to bring awareness to the breath. Notice the inhales, the exhales, the length and the depth. And wherever you are in your breath cycle, empty the breath completely. Together we take an inhale through the nose. Open mouth, sigh, let that go. Let's do that one more time. Inhale through the nose. Open mouth, sigh, release. Last one, inhale. Exhale, let that go. Lips seal, perhaps you start to cultivate Ujjayi breath. If eyes are closed or gaze is down to the earth, begin to flutter them open. We will invite some gentle shoulder rolls up and towards the ears and then back down. Just a few here, and perhaps the eyes find their way closed again or they stay open, whatever is most comfortable for you. And then after you've had enough of up and back, bring them up and forward. And then we let that go. Right ear begins to drop towards right shoulder. Eyes can be closed, or perhaps you gaze out of upper left corner of the eyes. Breathe. And then bring the head back to neutral. Other side, left ear, left shoulder, open up the neck, breathe here. Then bring it back to center. Keep the integrity through the spine as you drop the chin to the chest, gazes down. Then perhaps you interlace the hands behind the head and add a little bit of resistance. So not a pulling, just the weight of the hands, adding a little bit extra to open up the back of the neck, the traps, the upper back. We'll remain here for a few rounds of breath. In through the nose. Let it go either through the mouth or through the nose, your choice. Slow and controlled breaths. Perhaps you notice with each breath you find a little bit more space. And then we'll lift everything up. If hands are behind the head, release. We will meet with hands cupcake on the earth. So again, we will drop right ear to right shoulder. Perhaps this time you find a little bit more sensation due to the left hand being planted on the mat. We'll remain here a little bit longer than we did. Breathe. And then you can stay here, or you can recruit that right hand up towards the left side of the head, towards the left ear, to add a little bit more, just like we did behind the head. Breathe here. And if you would like to explore a different sensation, you can begin to look down towards right armpit. Notice how that feels. If you don't like it, let it go. And we have about 3 more rounds of breath. Keep the integrity through the spine. Sit bones grounded on the mat. And if you have the hand assisting, then release right hand back to the earth. We all release the head back to center. We'll move to the other side. This time right hand stays on the mat. Left ear down towards left shoulder. Breathe here. Notice the difference in the sensation with right hand on the mat. And if you would like a little bit more, you can recruit that left hand over towards right side. Breathe. Integrity through the spine. About 3 more rounds of breath. Deep and slow. If you would like, you could try to gaze down towards the left armpit. Notice the difference. Explore, find what feels good for your last breath or so. And if the hand is assisting, release left hand back to the mat. Head comes back to neutral. We'll prepare for eagle arms, and the invitation is either to stay in the seated position that you are in, or if you want, you can switch the legs to have opposite leg in front. We'll inhale, arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale, bend at the elbows. We bring the elbows in towards one another, and then left arm extends long as right arm comes outside of left. Breathe here. You can close the eyes. Allow the back of left shoulder to open up. One more full round of breath. Then we release. Inhale, arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale, bend at the elbows. Inhale, bring the elbows towards one another. Exhale, other side. This time our left arm assists the right as right arm comes across the body. Allow the back of the shoulder to open. Breathe. Notice how this works into the middle space of the upper back. One more full round of breath. And then we release. Inhale, arms sweep up towards the ceiling. Exhale, bend the elbows. Inhale, bring them together. And then on the exhale, find an eagle wrap. We will start with right arm underneath the left. You can do a single or a double. If this is too much for you, just go right back into the variation that we were before with the straight arm across the back. Breathe here. Try to lift those elbows in line with the shoulders. You can stay here in static, or if you would like a little bit more movement, you can inhale, lift the chin, lift the shoulders, lift the elbows. Exhale, round. Again, inhale, lift. Exhale, round. And you don't have to take this, you could stay still. If you're following me, inhale one more time. Exhale, round. Inhale, we meet in our seat with the eagle arms. Exhale, release, let that go. We'll take a few shoulder rolls. 3 in one direction, then the other. We'll move to the other side. Inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, bend the elbows. Inhale, elbows come together. Exhale, eagle wrap, opposite side. This time left underneath the right. Breathe. You could take a single, double, or stay with that straight arm variation. Lift the elbows in line with the shoulders. Integrity through the spine. Invitation to stay here or follow me in a flow. Inhale, lift, gaze up. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. One more time. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift. We meet back where we started. Exhale, release the hands to the earth. 3 more shoulder rolls in one direction, then the other. We find our way into a tabletop, hands on the earth, underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Tops of the feet on the mat as we move through a very exaggerated cat-cow. So on the inhale, drop the belly, gaze goes up. Perhaps you stay here, an extra breath. And then very slowly articulate vertebrae by vertebrae. Find space as you round to the back. Really press into the mat. Perhaps you stay here for a breath. And then we'll move through that. You drop the belly on your next inhale. Invitation to stay for a breath or to continue to move straight into your cat back. Long, deep rounds of breath. Perhaps you find a rock forward in your cat if you want to get more into the upper back. And a few rounds for you to explore, and you also have the invitation to stay in a cat back. If you would like to stay in a cat back, really press the hands into the mat. Try to separate the shoulder blades, create space and breathe. If you're flowing, stick with that. Find whichever variation feels best for you. And then you can do a little bit of one and switch into the other. You have about 3 more rounds of breath to play. And once you're finished with those 3 rounds, we meet in a neutral tabletop. And then just cross at the ankles, come into a seat, knees will be bent, feet plant on the mat. We move towards a seated rabbit, integrity through the spine. Lift the balls of the feet off the earth so only the heels are on the mat. Begin to walk your hands down the legs as the forehead comes to the knees. You can keep a grip of the ankles or begin to walk the hands down towards the outside blades of the feet. Perhaps the forehead begins to rest on the knees. Think equal and opposite energy, hands to feet, feet to hands, as you find space through the upper back, behind the shoulder blades and the neck. You can even play around with walking the feet out or in to see how that changes the sensation. We'll be here for quite a few rounds of breath. Allow the head to hang heavy or rest on the knees. Deep inhales and exhales. Allow the breath to find length, to move all through the diaphragm and the rib cage. We have about 3 more rounds of breath here. Perhaps you notice that the tension eases with each round of breath. One more full round. And then keep the rounding of the back. Just release the grip of the hands. Balls of the feet come back to the mat. Allow the hands to drape. They can drape alongside the body or on top of the legs. Allow the crown of the head to drop. So if it was resting on the knees, perhaps you allow it to drop in front or behind. And then slowly begin to roll yourself up vertebrae by vertebrae. Take a moment, how we started, integrity through the spine. And then when you're ready, we will find our way back into a simple seat. Hands on top of the knees, eyes can be closed or gaze can be down towards the mat. Breathe here. If you would like, you can drop right ear to right shoulder again. Perhaps you roll it around the front to the other side. Bring it back to neutral. We'll drop a left ear. Perhaps you roll it around to the front and then to the other side and come back to neutral. Prayer hands come to chest, thumbs pressed to the heart space. Bow your head, offer gratitude to yourself for showing yourself some love and some care. It's always a pleasure to guide you. Please like, share, and subscribe. Namaste.